Raman Shenoy, son of Acharya Gopal Krishna Shenoy. I want you to see this movie. The subject is structure of education in India. What good is education if it does not encourage taking up a traditional career like agriculture and business, but only prepares for a job? Education should not make one feel inferior to do manual labor and must teach dignity of labor. Encourage self-employment over the jobs. Schools should teach the students values and ethics to help the child to become good human beings. They should learn not to steal, not break locks and commit robbery and theft, not lie and not cheat. They should learn not to be greedy, not become selfish, control anger and avoid bad habits by not being in bad company, not indulging in vices like drinking, smoking, gambling, etc. The schools should stress on livelihood rather than passing examinations and getting degrees. They should be made to return to their traditional occupations like farming, animal husbandry, shopkeeping, blacksmithy, masonry, etc. All manual work should be made to feel superior and not just the clerkship or accountant's work or government office jobs. Working with machines may be encouraged, but working with hands should not be denigrated. The survey says that the literate children are less responsible towards their less literate parents and elders, while the illiterate or less literate children are more responsible towards their parents and elders. The literate have less respect for the elderly, answer rudely, do what pleases them, orders people older than him or her, and uses more abusive language. The literate person is selfish and greedy and wants good things such as food, clothes and lifestyle, and aspires for consumer items and imitates the West. He is prone to individualism and has greater tendency to develop the habit of drinking liquor, smoke, gamble and see films, and generally spend a lot of money on entertainment.
The literate young couple of today have so many new expenses. From where will they find any money for taking care of their elderly parents?
If a farmer's son, the only son, will become a doctor, then who will look after the farm, which the father nurtured with great efforts and pains to keep producing food grains vitally required by our country? If a businessman's only son decides to go for a government job, then who will run the business when the father is of retiring age? In the olden days, that is before the English people came to rule India, the education was confined to those selected boys and very rarely a few girls that could join a school or madrasa. We know from history that a king would grant land to a religious group that will appoint a teacher. The teacher was known as Mahajana, to establish what is called an agrahara. A Mahajana is a great scholar and teacher. In Badami, during the reign of Kadamba kings, especially Mayura Sharma, Kadamba Mayura Sharma, there were 32,000 agraharas, they say, in his kingdom.
This map of India shows the state of Karnataka, in which the Bagalkot district has Badami town.
They taught 14 kinds of vidyas or subjects like the 4 Vedas, 6 Vedangas, Tarkashastra, Dharmashastra, Purana, Mimamsa, Kama Sutra of Vachayana, Bharatanaट्य Shastra, Ganita or mathematics. Dharwad district had a place called Kotumachige, for example, where one teacher was granted 24 matters of land. Each matter is 4 acres as land for Akkarige Vritti. Akkarige Vritti was Vritti of education. This teacher in Kodumachige was able to teach reading, writing, mathematics, astrology, prosody, that is prose, rhetoric or debating, etc. He provided food and clothes to the students from the income of his land. The courses were known as Bala Shiksha for children and Karnata Shiksha for all others. These teachers were known as Karnata Pandita or Kannada Upadhyaya in Karnataka. These were the centers of learning, and only a few children could go to these schools and become literate. There were mathas. Mathas were the schools attached to the temples, and madrasas attached to the mosques, which imparted education to the children of the respective religion. All Brahmin children and some non-Brahmin children could get education in the mathas. Many Muslim children only learned how to recite Quran. Even before, the Buddhists built viharas and chaitras or prayer hall in which children and young adults were taught how to read and write and understand the scriptures. Jain people built bastis where their schools were opened. The Brahman mathas taught the Vedas, grammar, 6 darshanas, Patanjala Yoga Shastra, Purana, Nataka, Kavya, Ganita, etc. The rulers considered the establishment of any agrahara and supporting it to provide education to their subjects was considered as a meritorious act. Under the Muslim rulers, maktabs or primary schools and madrasas or higher schools were established, but these schools taught mainly about Muslim religion, theology, politics and ethics. For testing the ability of the children who got the knowledge and claimed that they learned everything that is to be learned, there were examinations conducted at different times for different students. There were also places called Ghatikasthanas, where the examiner will give certain time within which the student must complete the answer. Education was dependent on the Vedas and Shastras and Qurans that were handwritten on palm leaves and paper. Cloth was also used to write. But printing on paper became the milestone for spread of knowledge. Neatly printed books became available in stores and they became popular in every language. What are the kinds of jobs people took up in India before the year 1800? That is, before the British came to rule India. In those times, there was flourishing trade between India and the Arab countries, and also between India and Southeast Asian countries before the year 1800. And most of the accounts were maintained by higher caste educated persons. Domestic trade was also very widespread, and these trading houses maintained their accounts of buy and sell as well as taxes and of money borrowed and loaned through the help of the learned class among the population.